All right, on to the next one. Something we've talked a lot about on the channel is the sunsetting of ETAs, extended text ads, and the introduction or the forcing of using RSAs. Nick has a hack he's been using in that space. So walk through, I feel like we should call this the Nick episode. Nick bringing all the thunder.
Right.
Talk
working again, so you know.
Hey, there you go. Talk to me about your RSA hack that you've been doing that's been working. Walk me through what's going on there.
Yeah, so we had a account manager meeting this week, and we wanted to review, since the ETAs have been sunsetted, what's going on with the RSAs and what are we doing with new accounts on the RSAs. And you know, right, wrong, or indifferent, we knew that we had to give Google what they wanted and give them, you know, 2 to 3 ads in each ad group. So we just took the old ETAs and turned them into RSAs. So literally did the 3 sections, pinned them 1, 2, and 3 like we had in the ETA. Didn't change anything at all. Didn't add anything below. So when we were going and reviewing those, I was like, God, these are all poor. So they're rating, you know, on how they were doing the ad. It said ad copy relevance or whatever Google charges, and that says, you know, this is a poor ad. And then we started looking at the data, and the data tells us that, yeah, Google doesn't like it, but the click-through rate's double. The cost per lead is like a third less. They're still getting a ton of traffic, and we're like, okay, so no harm, no foul. Like, and then we started testing out a couple things on the fly. Just in the meeting, I was on the big board, and I was like, okay, let's add all this stuff below it. So we filled in all the open slots, put in, you know, 10, 12 headlines, put in some more descriptions. The thing was still tracking as low. So then I took one pin off, it went to poor. Then it went to, you know, went from awful to poor to average to good if I took those pins off. But I don't see a reason to take those pins off, honestly. If we know what is going to bring in that click-through rate, and I'm talking, it was maybe 16% click-through rate on the new RSAs that are just basically old ETAs with pins, compared to like 7%, which for us, we see an average. Yeah,
either are absurd, by the way.
Yeah,
if you're above the industry average of 1 or 2%, you're in a good place. So 7% is awesome. 16% is absurd.
Yeah, we see a really high rate on that. So we were like, well, let's just leave it and see what happens. So we'll update you in the next month, and we're just not going to change anything. We're going to keep doing that until they tell us any different. And we're still, our ETAs that are sunsetted, that like we were talking about earlier, are still being allowed to be run. That you just can't edit them at all, right? So you couldn't change if the page changes. You can't change it. You're going to have to put in a new RSA. With that, I would just tell people, just put it into the RSA and pin it all through and see how it performs. If you got an ad that's performed well, like we have, and we've got evergreen ads, there's no reason to go and change them all the time. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, sort of thing, right? So we've seen that as being a, you know, right now it's like, oh God, we've got thousands of ads to change to, oh, never mind. So
we just rolled it out to do all those changes. So after we get off, I'm gonna get with Rob and see which account we're gonna test this on. And because I know he was bummed because CTRs are definitely not as good as they used to be for certain niches.
Yeah.
So
how are we going to test it?
Pick a client
and just roll out responsive
exactly.
ads.
Yeah.
Instead of ETAs.
Yeah, with 3. No, I'm saying test what Nick was saying with
oh, okay.
Yeah, with the 3 pins. Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I'm curious to see. I haven't actually done an analysis. We spent so much time trying to figure out how we were going to approach it. And we've gotten decent, cost per lead and things in the niches that we're working in. I really haven't gone back to analyze ETA versus responsive, but once we get another month, we should have good data to compare it to, and see how it works. We just pinned the keyword in headline 1 and the offer if we have one in headline 2, and then with our intake form, we're designed to have some features and benefits. And if the client knows what their features and benefits are, we include them in the RSAs. They seem to be performing okay. It was mostly every time Google does something like that, you have to scramble your processes and your team and try to figure out how you're going to implement that.